conversation anyways, but I just love
Right.
what you're
And
saying.
you're free to start the recording and we can just talk like this,
Yeah, I'm on it.
because the whole basis of what you're creating here, which is why I said I was tempted to pay $20.21 because I'm, first of all, I'm a big believer in energy. And
Yes,
I
yes, that's what's
love
about.
the synchronicity of the energy you were creating around 2021, $20.21. That's
Yes.
my kind of thing right there. And
Yeah.
I actually went to go click and something went wrong. I was having a lot of trouble with my other monitor, which is
Okay.
why I bought the new one. Even though
Mhm.
it's a monitor and you think it wouldn't impact what you're actually doing, but it would block me from clicking on
Oh.
things. And I was like, what's going on? And I troubleshooted it for days and weeks with other technical people. And
Mhm.
finally I said, it's this monitor. And I bought a new one.
Okay.
I've had this monitor for like 12 years. So
Oh, okay. So you just are now switching the energies. It's fresh
yes.
energy. It's
Yeah.
2021. It's a new
If it
monitor.
hadn't
It's
been for
time.
that monitor, I would have been one of your paying customers because I love that stuff. When you put things out there like that, to me, that's God talking to you.
Absolutely.
That's
Well, you
God.
know
He's
what?
like saying,
Yes, yes. Hello,
hello,
hello. Oh my
2021,
goodness.
2021, 2021. Get it yet?
2021. Get it together. Carry the one, people. 2020, carry the one. Let's get it going.
I
And
love
that's
that. That's the kind of thing that appeals to me. I grew up in a household where my mother and my sisters were all mediums. I am not.
okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I grew up around all this
Wow.
woo woo, right? And
I am
I'm
so
very
happy to
clear.
hear that. I had no
Yeah,
idea
I'm
that. I
very
mean, but
clear about it.
you
It
got the
works. I
spiritual.
believe in it. I have faith in it. I have
Mm-hmm.
no issue with it. And I'm much, much more structured and entrepreneur and business minded and all that stuff that they are not.
Yeah. Well, to me, what I am learning is that, I had to go on the dark night of the soul journey for the past this was the past few years. And then here just the past few months, what I've come to know is that, and the opportunities that have come, because I've always been great at manifesting, but I didn't really know how to do like what I knew, I've seen The Secret. I saw The Secret of like, 15 years ago, whenever it came out, when I was
Yeah,
two. Just kidding.
quite some time ago.
And
Yeah, we all were stuck in
we
our
were all
lollipops because we don't know. We don't know.
and so and so, but it was powerful to me, the ask, the believe, and the receive. And I got it, but I didn't get it quite yet. And I know you're going to go further into that. And by the way, folks, before I keep talking to Pam, but I wanted to just start the recording because we were already having such rich conversation. I wanted you to get to hear it. And a lot about what Pam's talking about in her history, I didn't even know yet. So this is, I mean, talk about calling it in and being on a vibrational match and meeting people that you can actually connect with on a vibrational level and building, and that's how you use the law of attraction. I'm Michelle
Yeah.
Emtre Hollis with Vision Board Music and Vision for the Soul. I am a law of attraction coach. I get it honest because it's been amazing ever since I really understood how it works and have committed to the process, and that's important to it. Today, of course, we're here at the Check Yourself. Let me do this real quick. We're at the Check Yourself Abundance Mindset Challenge. This is expansion of your mind. So, not being expensive, but being expansive, which
Mm,
is a whole nother realm of allowing. And the art of allowing is extremely important when it comes to the life that you are creating. And that's why that's why we at Vision Board Music are of the belief that every voice gets to be heard and every purpose fulfilled. It's very, very important to us. We understand that the feminine energy, the feminine collective, the whole collective needs more of us, needs more of the feminine energy, the intuitive, the empathic, the unconditional love. Love is the answer to everything. We really believe that. So today is the second day of the challenge. I hope that you all have already been experiencing a different way of being, a more whole way of being, a more excited, expectant way of being just by the beginning of the challenge. So by today, you should have already written your check for $2,000, received it from the universe, and you should be spending that today because you need to spend, you get to spend your money every day. And every day, Pam, just in case you didn't know exactly what it is, this, and just for clarification for our audience, the Check Yourself Abundance Mindset Challenge is taken directly from Abraham Hicks, Ask and It Is Given. Mm-hmm. They said that this process helps you to expand your mind in what you allow, what you believe is possible. So what it is basically, they said to come up with the creation box is what they call it. And it basically could be any box or bag or whatever. This could be a creation box. You write creation box on it. I have mine. I forgot I had it on under my computer right now, so I can't show you. But there's plenty of videos in the group. But let's say this could be your creation box. This is you creating the space for what you believe and understand and is possible, and for what is. So what you do is you have a check register. You ask the universe for $1,000. You write it, deposit it on your check register. And then you have blank checks, and all this is available in the group for you to download. You have blank checks, and then you write the check to whoever you need to write it to, whoever you get to write it to. And it starts with $1,000 on the first day. You can start this 5-day challenge anytime. The beauty is 5 days or 5 days. So there's no, in a universe of abundance, there is no start and stop date. You can start today and work your 5 days out. Anyways, so after the first day, that doubles, it's compound interest. So we double it to compound interest the second day. The third day, so we go from 1,000 to 2,000. The third day, it's going to be 4,000. The fourth day, it's going to be 8,000. And the fifth day, it's going to be 16,000. And the only thing you have to do is enjoy spending that money and writing the check. And when you write
covered there.
What's that? I know that's right. Hey, and it's so powerful, Pam, because even I started this a week ago because I wanted to, in excellence, already be into the process when I started this for everyone. You will not, I'll tell you about it later once I want everyone to hear from you first, but I'll tell you the quick story afterwards. You will be amazed at what has happened since then. I promise you, it is not small potatoes at all. I can tell that my capacity for receiving what I've asked for is opening up in the biggest way. And it's coming in quick. It's coming in so quick. That's why I did this challenge, because I was like, I need to make sure, and I get to make sure that my mind understands and believes it's all possible, so I don't pinch it off with, you know what I mean? So anyway,
the subconscious.
In the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So today we get to talk about the illustrious power of words. And I couldn't think of a better person to co-create this module with than the incredible Pam Heath. She is awesome, and she is the master chemist in the science lab of yes. Exactly. I like to say. So Pam, if you could just introduce yourself to everybody and just jump right into it, because I'm excited to hear what you have to say. And people, if you're smart, you'll take some copious notes.
All right, so greetings and welcome. My name is Pam Heath, and I am the Yes Coach. And I call my process the science of yes. And Michelle and I were just having this conversation earlier, and it's so appropriate that I have a conversation with you about my process, because I coach from the energy of yes. And I say that the universe resonates at that energy of yes. Like, in other words, the universe wants you to have everything you want. That's the way life was designed. And you and I, as human beings, we complicate a very, very simple process called ask for what you want, and it shall be given. And Michelle mentioned Abraham Hicks and that whole process and the law of attraction. Well, yes, I am also a master manifester, and I utilize the law of attraction, but I don't call my process the law of attraction, because there's one little key point that's missing when people talk about the law of attraction that I talk about in my process, the science of yes. And that one little piece that when it's missing, you are hit and miss with your manifestation. And that one little piece is so critical. And I'm going to say it, and you're not going to believe me, but it matters. It is the thing that you must do when you're manifesting inside the law of attraction. You must take action, correlate with that thing that you say you want. Like, in other words, if you say you want a new boyfriend, then all your actions must be correlate with getting that new man. He's arriving. He's about to knock on your door. What are you going to do when you open the door? Do that now. Operate now like it's a done deal. You already are putting on your makeup. You already are taking the actions correlate. You wouldn't let him come to your house and it's a mess. I know you wouldn't. Don't act like you would. So why is it a mess now? You always operate like what it is that you're working towards, that you're manifesting, is already coming. As a matter of fact, what time's going to get here, and you need to be ready for it by taking the actions that are correlate with your having that thing. And that's the piece that most people leave out. And the reason why they leave it out, and I'm going to tell you, in their subconscious, there's a belief structure that's in place that doesn't really believe they can have it. And so you
tell the truth, Pam,
are operating from, I don't really think I can have it, while all the time you're saying that you want it. And the two, they bump against each other and they push each other apart. You're not open to receive what it is you're asking for, because deep down, you don't really think you can get it. Not only do you not think you can get it, but worse, you don't think you're worthy to have it. And whether or not you argue with me or tell me that it isn't so, I know, because I can tell if you're not manifesting, it's because there's something in the way. But here's the good news. You can transform that on a dime, on a dime. You don't have to wait months, weeks. You can do it right now. It has to do with your belief structure. And you know how sometimes they say you can fake it till you make it? No matter what, you got to keep on striving to take actions that are correlate, that you have this thing, that it's coming, that it's already here, opening the door to see, did it arrive at your doorstep yet? Because it's coming. I promise you it is. And as long as you operate from a positive mindset, generating that you say, yes, this thing shall be, it will, no matter what. It's a done deal, guaranteed. Put it to the test. Test what I say. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose, and you have everything to gain.
And I'm glad you said that. And I want to take a deeper dive into this, because, people, what I have observed in my experience with others and myself, is that, and this is where the illustrious power of words come in, because a lot of times, and I'm right in alignment with you. We ask, we even believe or want to believe.
Yes.
What happens is, like you're saying, we end up pitching ourselves off from the thing that we're believing for by the things we say. We talk ourselves right out of it. All men are dogs, you know what I mean? All women are,
Now you preaching.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like, I just can't get a break. You know what I mean? I don't have enough time. All of those things are words that have an energy behind it.
Exactly.
And that's why I love your just say yes, because that you just broke it down. And then now you like, I've listened to you talk a few times now, and we've only known each other but for a few weeks or so. But we've engaged in each other because of the wonderful Ken Krell, who put together that amazing event. I mean, what a beautiful thing that he said yes to, don't you think? I mean, that just touches my heart. When I think about all that took him to do, and the heart that he came from, and the blessing it was for all of us to be able to participate in that, and how it elevated our businesses just by being on that panel with each and every one of us together, on the panel that showed everybody speaking, like that just took our businesses to another level. And that was a blessing. That just, that's because he said yes to his vibration, you know what I mean? To what felt good to him. And it was a crazy tall order, but he found a way and was pleasant as could be about it. And I think that has a lot to do with it too. Wouldn't you say, Pam? I mean, it's like, say yes, but also the inner, and I should say, because but words are important. Say yes, and you get to work on the energy behind your yes. How do you
Yes.
how do you feel about that? Because I know
So
your
the
energy.
energy behind yes is your actions have to be correlate with what you say. So like Ken is a perfect example. It's no accident you bring him up, because this guy, had been doing this for years. And what he did when he took that on, common sense told him that was crazy. All week long, 24/7, staying live and having all this virtual stuff going on, that for anybody else that would have been unbelievably undoable.
No one
But
else
he
would have
said,
probably even thought that was a good idea.
yeah, but he said yes, and then he started to take the action correlate with it happening. He
Yes.
never let anybody talk him. Like his producer told him, "Are you insane? You can't do that." And she was one of the speakers on the stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like he just stands in the face of his desire to contribute, because he was contributing to Zor. And inside of that, anything's possible. So one of my favorite sayings, what I use with most of my clients, I tell them, the guy that heads Virgin Airlines, what is his name?
Richard Branson
has this thing he says where say yes, and then figure it out later. That's my theme song. It's like, always say yes, and don't worry, it'll work out. You'll figure it out. Go find out. Go look into it. Don't wait until it's perfect before you whip it out.
That's right, because you're gonna have to work it out.
You can say yes to anything. There's nothing you need to be afraid of. And this is the thing I get the most, because I do this all over the place. I have these conversations, I do these talks, and sometimes I lead workshops and seminars, and people ask me, well, what can I not say no? I mean, aren't I allowed to say no? And here's the thing about that. Obviously, you can say no. This is not a conversation to create yes as a good word and no as a bad word. There are things that you not only say no, you do it with your hand bopping and your finger snapping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, the energy, yeah.
Right. There are things to say no to.
That's
this
right.
is not
That's
about
right.
semantics.
That's
There
right.
are things that you bet say no.
That's
I'll come over there and say it for you.
But you know what, Pam? Something, because when you were speaking on this before, I thought about it and I said, even in, and Abraham Hicks would says something similar, and that is that no is the other end of the stick of yes anyway.
Yeah.
Because once you get clear with what your priorities are, with who you be, then what you're really saying is yes to your priority.
Yes, exactly. When you're just looking for the access to the yes. Anytime you're looking at no, you're looking for the access to yes, but it's a mindset. It's a mindset that you come from. Like when I coach every day, all day. When I coach people, they talk to me about what doesn't work for them or what they don't like. And I tell people all the time, don't lead with that.
That's right.
Don't lead with that. Telling me what you don't want is like going in a restaurant and the waiter comes up and says, what would you like to eat? And you say, well, don't serve me pancakes. It's like,
you're like, okay, yeah, you're going to read everything on the menu, but
until you find what you like. No, you lead with what you want. You lead with what you want. It's like, you bring me some hotcakes, bring them now. Hurry up, I'm hungry. You don't lead with what you don't want.
Yeah, you don't sit there. That is powerful. You do not sit there and read the entire menu of what you don't want and just leave out what you do want for the person to guess and figure out.
That's that, and it sounds absurd. And people always laugh when I use that, and that it sounds absurd. No, but you do it every day. You leave the what you don't want. Life.
Woo!
You talk to people that I can't tell you how many times I'll say, well, what do you want me to do? Well, I don't want you to do that. And I'm like, okay, now I'm clear what you don't want.
And I'm so glad you're bringing this up because, and why this is a condition. This is a condition, and we're laughing and joking about it, but it's an epidemic in the globe on a global scale.
It is. People are so wanting to commiserate and complain
and about what's not working. Yeah, and point the finger at who's to blame.
Right.
They don't want to take responsibility.
Right. And the fearful thing is that they are taking actions inside of these negative, vibrations and negative thought patterns and hurting people.
hurting people physically, mentally, and
and
everything.
completely justified. I was reading. I try not to watch the news.
Yeah, it's
I try
energetically
not to
not a
watch the
match.
news. It's downer. I
Yeah,
don't spend a whole lot of time with
doesn't serve
politics
us.
and seeing what everybody's up to, you know. But I did notice there was something that caught my eye. It was an interview with a woman who used to belong to the group that was empowering Trump, and she was part of the group that attacked the Capitol. She's now in therapy in with one of those therapists that specializes in deprogramming cult members.
And I mean, that's what it felt like, isn't it? And that's
Yeah,
what it
and
feels like. It
she,
feels like a hypnotic,
yeah,
a
and
hypnotic
she shared
situation.
very, very deeply about how she made the tumble. Like, she's just this ordinary human being. We look at them and we think they're weirdos, they're wackadoodles, right? But she was this ordinary human being who listened, and she said that her husband and her children were completely dumbfounded, that she just bought into a conversation, and she truly believed that Trump was in office by God's command, and that if he left
Whoa,
the
that's
office,
scary, bro.
yeah,
I mean, that's scary. And it's so, I'll tell you something too, Pam. I mean, and this is, again, this is not a new phenomenon. We've seen it happen before in history. I mean, so many times. And
yes,
sometimes, unfortunately, it's gotten way out of control. I mean, it's always way out of control by the time we hear about it,
yes,
but it's at that point, I believe the best thing that we can do, and even more so, the reason that we can do that is we get to use words if we're conscious, like you and I, and most everyone I'm imagining that's watching this that has decided to be a part of the Abundance Mindset Challenge gets it. We understand that we are just as responsible for the direction of the collective and the co-creating of the world we really want to see. And
yeah,
that's our responsibility, each and every one of us. It's not the government's responsibility, it's not the president's
right,
responsibility, or it's our responsibility to be in committed action and show up 100% participation in our life. And by doing that,
absolutely.
we have to be conscious of the things we're saying, the things we're doing, the words
Exactly. You're
that we are
absolutely right.
using.
As a matter of
Uh-huh.
fact, I want to jump off of what you're creating right now and you're speaking, because this is the key to a powerful access to abundance.
Okay.
Because where you're coming from is, if you just focus on you and resonate with the power of yes, it will reverberate just like a stone when you throw in the pond, and it will approach other people and it bring them in to that reverberation. You don't have to pick up a gun and go down to to the downtown to the city hall
Exactly.
and manage people physically. You don't have to do that ever, ever, ever. God would never
Ever.
tell you to do that.
That's right. That's
He
right.
would
Thank
never
you for
tell you
saying
to
that.
do that. What
Thank you for
he
saying
would
that.
tell you to do, and check me if I'm wrong, what he would tell you to do, he would tell you to check yourself, to manage yourself.
That's
Because
what we
when
call it, to
you
check
manage
yourself.
yourself, you are a beacon, you are a mentor, you are something for other
A
people.
conduit.
Yes. But if he would never send his messenger down here to tell you to go downtown and handle somebody. He
That's
would never
exactly
do
right.
that. He would tell you
That's
to
another
manage yourself.
energy.
Exactly. What if you're getting that energy, it's not coming from above.
That's
I'm just
right.
letting you know,
That's right. I agree with that.
that when you focus on you, and then you are enough. My kids, my beautiful people, you are enough. Managing your own
Yes.
energy,
That's
it's a handful.
it's a
You
full-time job.
exactly. You don't
It
have time
is.
to manage anybody else.
Exactly. And you know what? We are, and this, I say this all the time, our mindset, our minds, the human mind is the most sought after real estate on earth right now. We are
Yeah.
there, it is a battle, truly a
Yeah.
battlefield for our mind and to keep us boxed in. And I'm not necessarily a conspiracy theorist to the fullest. I do have the ones that I enjoy
Yeah.
to I have the ones that I
Yeah.
enjoy to relish in. But what has become apparent to me and necessary to verbalize and to speak up on. And that's why today the illustrious power of words is our focus, because it has become apparent to me that we need to remember that we have that, first of all, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. If we don't believe that, you know, if we're going to sit here and find all the fear to focus on, then we're missing all the blessings that really get to be lifted up. The more that we enlighten the world, and the more that we shine a light and light the path to the truth, the light, the way, the entire universe, and everything that is beneficial to the healing opportunity of each and every individual. Like you said, you know, we can only really be as clear and as abundant as we make space for. And that means we get to not be cloudy. We get to drop the alcohol and the drugs, if that's a problem for you. We have to be honest. You know, we have to be honest. And that was a problem for me. So I'm not preaching. I'm talking from experience. It didn't matter. I could manifest only so far.
Right. There's a lid.
There's a lid. And you got to put a lid on it. Let it die. Whatever it is that's
I'm here to tell you that I have experienced in my coaching, miraculous things take place that you know might even be scary because it's that profound.
I know, I can believe.
You know, it's like
I'm excited to hear. Do you have any stories?
Yeah, I can tell you one story that is really remarkable. Because I've been doing this for years. I've been coaching from this concept for years, but I didn't have it fully articulated.
Right.
You know,
right. But it's our time. It's the light workers.
People started nicknaming me the Magic Lady because if you tell me you want something, you're going to get it. It became like that.
Yes.
You know? I would lead workshops and seminars, and they'd come and they'd tell me, and they'd get that thing, and they'd be like, well, Pam's magic.
Ooh, and I want to hear examples.
All the time, it's not that I'm magic. It's that I'm creating something for you. You're listening to
believe in
way, and then you take action based on that.
You're belief.
Generating it. It's just like Jesus said in the Bible. Your faith has healed you.
Woo!
You know, your faith,
and
has
it's
healed
real.
And it's real. So this one lady, she came to the mic and she was in tears. She'd been married for almost 27 years. And her husband married her with a ring that had been in his family for generations.
Okay.
And one day she lost the ring. And he was so mad at her. They had a big argument, the worst they'd ever had in their entire marriage. And you can imagine there's been a lot of arguments in that marriage.
I mean, but this
one was the worst, because to him it's like, you didn't honor my family's ring.
Right.
You lost
I mean, that's
it.
deep.
You don't even know where it is. And he just like, and he was ready to call it quits after 27 years.
Dang.
And she came to the mic, she was crying, and everybody's looking at me. They go, come on, Magic Pam, you know. And I didn't.
What did you do? You told her where to go?
I didn't. All I said, because I didn't know what to do. That's the honest truth. I listened to that story. To me, that sounded horrific. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Like, well, in this case,
I don't know what to tell her. So I just looked at her and I said, you know what? You're going to find that ring. You're going to find that ring. You go get that ring.
Your face.
And everybody was like, oh, you know, like, she told her to go get that ring. So she went off, and that seminar was every other week. So that 2 weeks later, she came back. This was live. This is before the pandemic. Everybody, you know, was in the room.
Right. How many people is everybody? Just out of curiosity.
267 people were in that.
Woo!
So that she went to the front.
You was bold.
Yeah. You know, this is the thing. I'm glad you said that. When in doubt, be bold.
Woo!
The universe will always back.
Woo!
Boldness. Always.
Oh my God, I got chills. I love you, Miss Pam. You're awesome.
When in doubt, be bold.
Love it.
Don't be shy, because the universe does not empower that.
They ain't gonna lift that up.
The universe likes bold. It tickles, you know, the universe. It will always back you up. So I said, you're gonna find that ring now. Go home and find it. Go get it. 2 weeks later, she marches up to the mic and everybody's waiting to see. She said, I found the ring. And everybody went crazy. It was like a scene from the Blues Brothers, right? It was like,
Yeah, what were your events called?
That particular seminar was called Being Extraordinary.
Okay.
I led different seminars. I've been leading, workshops and seminars for 20 years.
Oh my goodness. See, I didn't really know that either. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
great.
So this is what happened. She told us what happened. She went home and she said, even though she has looked for this ring, because she didn't come to that seminar not having looked for the ring.
Of course, right.
Of course,
right.
But she said, well, Pam said, I'm going to find it. So there's somewhere that ring is.
That's beautiful.
Where haven't I looked? And she went out to the backyard. And in the backyard, it's a funny thing because her husband they had a dog and he pooped in the backyard and he always cleaned it up. And he hadn't been doing his chores because they were having a difficult time.
Oh, see, that's how the slippery slope can happen, folks. Just quickly say.
So there's piles of dog poop in the backyard, which is not usual. Okay. And she had this thought, well, I haven't looked in the dog poop. The ring was in a pile of dog poop. Oh, what had happened
was the dog eating it?
She took the ring off when she was washing dishes, put it on the counter, and unbeknownst to her, her elbow pushed it into the dog's dish and he ate the ring.
Well, let me rephrase that then. That's probably good. That he didn't pick it up.
The thing is, here's the thing. Normally, her husband kept that yard clean.
That's what I was saying.
But because he was mad at her, he wasn't doing his chores. So
the energy was still working on their behalf.
Normally, she wouldn't come home and say, let me get my gloves and go through dog poop.
Exactly.
But exactly. I told her.
Gave her I like
she had the thought, where haven't I looked?
Where haven't I looked?
Well, I haven't looked in the piles of dog poop in the backyard. And amen.
And hey,
that's where it was. Everybody went nuts.
Love that.
Because here's the thing. It all coincided with the actions correlate to what she wanted. It all coincided to her belief that she was gonna find it because I told her she would.
No place is too crazy to look. Especially, you know what I mean? There's no place
I've looked everywhere and it's not here, but Pam said
that's right. Here. That's right. So if I'm gonna believe her, I'm gonna do it all.
And she looked in the dog poop, and that's where the ring was.
Pam, that is awesome.
So that's when I say that kind
and
of
that's thing she had to say yes to that. There was a question in her mind when she got home.
I promise you, when she but you don't understand. I've looked everywhere, and there are people who would leave it at that. I've already looked everywhere. It's not.
Oh here. Yeah, how many? Just
you don't know. You were standing up there at that pulpit. You don't know. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
She listened and everyone believed that Magical Pam said, you go find it. Let me go back and look where I haven't looked.
Let's look where I haven't looked.
Well, the only place I haven't looked is in the pile of poop.
That's right. And she asked herself a question right then. She said, are you really about to look in this pile of poop?
I promise you, there was a lot of questions going on in her mind.
And she had to say, yes, I am. Because
I'm going to look.
Because if I'm thinking about it, it's possible.
It's possible. And that's where it was. And when she realized what had happened,
I'm sorry.
When she realized what had happened, she recognized the whole cycle of the events. She recognized it.
And she thought it, she thought it backwards.
Dog eating it, pooping it, he didn't clean it up. Me saying, go back and look, you're going to find it. Knowing that I said that, knowing she was going to, she then opened up to receive it from
open to the receiving system.
That's the point. That's the point of the whole thing.
Yes.
Most people don't recognize that they're closed.
Yes.
Even the ones who are doing your challenge. You're telling them, go write the check, and they're like, okay, I'll write the check, but they're not open to receive.
They're not open. They're not playing full out. People aren't playing full out, man.
Yeah.
And it's important to do that
not
in
because
life.
I know them, because I don't know them. I just know what it is to be human.
Yeah. I mean, I fell a day behind. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like,
but you fall a day behind, but you get back in the game.
And on a dime.
You know, I mean, and because I would be lying to sit here and say that I am not perfect. Yesterday, you'll never believe it, Pam. I had Julie Jones on here. She lit it up. She was awesome, everything. And then I had another awesome, amazing young woman, Erica Briones, two powerful women. we had like the conversation of our lives, and I went to stop the recording and realized I wasn't recording. I was so
oh my God,
I was like,
that
dang it.
hurt.
But I said, I mean, everything happens for a reason. But it even then I went on, because it is definitely recording now though, and the reason I told you that is because Julie talks about are you familiar with her Get Shit Done
Yes.
whole thing? And she talks about 15-minute increments of doing things. I said, that's powerful. So after that happened, I said, this is my opportunity. I'm gonna schedule in here in a half an hour. I'm scheduling 15 minutes to write me a show note list to make sure that because I've been talking about doing it all the time, but I'm not only am I doing that for me, and this is part of the abundance mindset, which is why I'm talking about it. And it speaks right into what your whole experience you just talked about. An abundance mindset is acting on when the law of attraction, when the energy brings you a solution, you need to act on it. Like you said. So I did that, and I wrote this. I remembered I had this thing sitting over in the corner, not doing anything. And it is a little show. I took 15 minutes and I said, let me write it. And I got to rewrite it again, but it says, Zoom, boom. It says, your meeting begins 30 minutes early for you, just to remind me to be ready to go 30 minutes early. Guess what time I got back here after my car stopped? 30 minutes before the show started. Like literally crazy. Not really, but just crazy. Awesome.
I think that's really cool.
Check your audio.
And I'm going to say something else about this thing that you've done here, because I noticed that you wrote it in purple.
Yes.
And, for those of you who are listening, who are thinking about for yourself, little things that you do like this, little structures that you put in place to honor what you're up to, in your favorite colors, or she's got this little like bubble, this talking bubble, like something's talking to her. Yeah. All those little things that you bring to the structure will keep you on point till you're taking the actions correlate with what you say you want. And if you're putting your mindset on that, it's like I said, you don't have time to get in trouble. You don't have time for negativity because you're too busy generating what supports you. So
I like that. You know what I'm saying?
People are oftentimes left with you'll have people who commiserate with you, who it's just not going my way, and people don't like me, and I don't have a boyfriend, and my foot hurts, and they're just going on and on about everything that's not working.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound harsh, and I want you to know that I love people, and I love you, but it's like you need to stop that. Cut that out. You
gotta stop it. Cut it out. You know why? Because what I've learned is that I said I've been calling myself helping people, especially when I was on drugs and alcohol. It was easy with the codependency for me to feel like I was doing something positive by being there for all the the lonely hearts clubs, or for the people that always had crises and stuff. But no, it was just my excuse, escaping from my reality and from creating my own reality. But I realized, I said, wait a minute. I said, the longer I keep doing it, I'm enabling them. I'm not doing them any favors by allowing them to keep talking that stuff and act like they don't need anybody, but they certainly find a way to need all of my resources and all of my time and all of my I'm like, no, absolutely. You get to create your own. You get to create.
But I'm going to tell you something. This is very important. It's not just about that only. The fact of the matter is that people can be like vortexes. Like, what I mean by that, like they can suck your power and suck your energy. And it's like this whirling tornado of energy that's sucking yours. So you actually have to protect your energy, because people,
you do.
There are a class of people who are attracted to people like you and me because our energy is tasty. It's delicious.
They're like moths to the flame.
Yes.
And I actually was attracting a lot of actual moths in my lifetime during that time.
And you'll find
it was really weird.
once you, it's not weird at all. Once you start emanating with your light and your mission and your, destiny, there are people who are going to come along that want to ride you like a mule. They want to have a part of what you've got because it's so appealing. It's so, it draws them in and they want it. It's up to you to stop that. And as much as you want to contribute to people, as much as you want to empower people, you must draw a line between them being empowered by you and taking from you.
That's right. I call it a heart boundary because it resonates with my loving spirit. Like I get to draw a heart boundary, and that way it reminds me that I can still communicate this in a loving way. And ironically and kind of hilariously, but honestly, the quickest way to detract that negative energy is to bring up God and Jesus. I mean, you bring that up, they're like, oh, I'm not into that. Okay, great.
Okay, see you later, bye.
And it's like, I'm not religious. I know the truth, and I'm on the side of the truth. And that's how I feel. And I understand that that the words that we use and what we communicate is powerful and it's important. So like, I used to do that. See, I got myself in a lot of trouble when I went on the Dark Night of the Soul walkabout 3-4 years ago. And I started dealing with a lot of people that were into dark magic, dark witchcraft. And I thought I was going to be Michael Jackson with my popcorn, just eating,
and just observing,
and just observing it. But I forgot the rest of the video. It was Thriller Night. It did not stay. He didn't stay in the movie theater. Stuff got really weird, really fast. Forgot that part. And so, but one thing and one energy that stuck with me the whole time was God energy, Christ energy. Yes. And it helped me through, even though I was going through, different things. But also what has gotten me through in a lot of ways too is tarot. You know what I mean? The tarot has really, just because what that part is self-reflection, is understanding yourself, I think, like astrology, those types of things, and I don't see those aren't evil at all, in my opinion. Everything is the energy in which it comes behind it, whether it's words, whether it's actions, the energy behind it, because a lot of people can do a lot of doing, but if they're doing it in a fake way, or they're not really believing in what they're doing, that doesn't mean anything either. So it always still comes back to the energy, the vibrational universe, don't you think?
I agree with you 100%. As a matter of fact, you bring up tarot. I have a few clients who are tarot readers. I, as well as being a life coach, I'm also a business strategist, and I support them and I help them. A lot of times creative, spiritual people aren't necessarily entrepreneurial minded.
Yeah. I had to change that. That's something I had to change, because I'm a musician. I'm a singer-songwriter who loves personal development. So I always call myself the Tony Robbins meets Beyonce. That's where I'm headed,
Exactly.
Because music is a tool. It's like, it's the gift of the world. It's the communication method of everything, of the vibration and sound, yet nobody's really using it in the personal development space. So I said, well, there's a spot for me. Let's do this, because music has been the big turnaround for so much. Like, even, in America, I feel like, with in America, with like, when reggae, when the Woodstock and all that, the music and the culture really helped to break down those walls that were once there. Don't you think?
I think so. And I think that, in terms of your 5-day challenge, that would be an interesting take for someone, as well as doing the work that you've outlined in the challenge, but to also take on what is their passion, what is their mission. And, I encourage people to write a personal manifesto. And if you take that on during the 5-day challenge, that could be something that will be fueled by your being open to receive, because this challenge will give you access to what it is to receive abundance and prosperity on a daily basis. And if you don't know what that feels like, then you're in for a treat, because life can be just like that every day of your life if you're open to receive. If you're closed, like, I can't get it because my parents treated me badly when I was a little kid. Well, honey, you're in your 50s now. You need to get over that conversation.
I mean, it's the rap. It's a rap.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Like Dave Chappelle said, the music, the wrap it up music. Did you ever see that one?
No, I don't.
Oh, that's so, like when people are talking too long or something, because he plays a button and it's the wrap it up music they use like at the Grammys or something when people are talking too long and they start playing the they
Yeah,
start playing
because
people
that's
off the
your cue
stage.
to shut up
Yeah.
and get off the stage. Yeah. That I wish I had a button like that right here on my desk. I
Yeah,
could just, okay, that's too long. That's how I
exactly.
feel when people start commiserating and complaining.
We should
I
get
feel
that
like,
because it
nah,
disrupts.
nah, nah.
We should make a real one. Like we should
Yeah,
make a real one
that's a
because
wrap. I like that. I might go ahead and do that. That's a wrap because really it is a wrap. I
it
get that
is rap.
all the time from people. They tell me, oh, yeah, but I can't say yes because my parents, abused me when I was a child.
Yeah, people are really stuck in that story.
And your
And I
girlfriend,
mean,
honey,
of course, let's not trivialize. Of course, trauma is real.
yeah,
But the thing is, Pam, you get to heal that. You got to work. You get to work on that. And then people will say, "Well, I went to a therapist and they didn't work." It's like, honey, first of all, no. Like it's an ongoing work to unravel all that.
yeah. And
And
if they're healing is just like when you cut yourself, there's a process. There's a
ooh, I
process.
like the
It's
way you
not going to
said
just
that.
disappear overnight.
Woo! Please, that is
You know what I'm saying?
you
So
got
if
you
you
got the
went to a
gems,
therapist
Pam.
and you're not healed, it's because you didn't fully go through the process. It's like
And then you
if you
kept
had a
scratching
cut
it.
and yeah, and you're scratching and you're itching, you didn't put any antibiotic on it, you didn't put any ointment on it, and it keeps festering. That's what it's
Mhm.
like when you have a trauma that you haven't,
That's
addressed.
exactly right.
It festers. And
Yes, it
sometimes it gets
does.
infected and then it creates all this dead,
And then that
energy.
can get in your bloodstream and it's everywhere.
Exactly. And make you very, very,
Kill you.
the smallest cut can actually take you down
Yeah.
if you don't treat it. And that's what it is when there's trauma in your life. I don't minimize it. I was sexually abused when I was a little
Mm-hmm.
girl. I've had
Mm-hmm.
all kind of trauma in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yet I'm a yes. You
Yeah.
think about the worst possible thing that could happen to you. It has already happened to me. My oldest child
Wow.
committed suicide.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
I manifested my dream home. When my daughter died, I was so grief stricken, I couldn't work and I lost my job. I lost my job. I couldn't pay my mortgage. I lost the
Mm-hmm.
house. I couldn't pay my car note.
Ooh.
Lost my
Mm.
car. Then I lost my home and I lost my car and I couldn't even live in my car. I didn't have a car. I had to live in my son's car, because I didn't have a car to live in. I mean,
Right.
I have been down as deep as you can go. And yet here I sit
Okay.
saying life will give you anything you ask for. If I can
Pam,
say
what a
that, anybody
blessing.
can.
The yes, yes, yes. That
Anybody
is a
can.
yes.
You know, that's the, that
How
that's
did you get yourself? How did you turn that around, Pam? What did
so I'm
one
going
day
to tell
it
you
just click or
straight up. I'm going to tell you
okay,
straight up because
okay.
people are always blown away. They try to match me with their commiseration. I'm like, can
With their
nobody match
story.
me?
Oh wow,
Can
Pam.
nobody? I don't
Oh,
care
you're a
what you've
blessing.
done. I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Okay.
Yeah, you're a
And
blessing.
here's the thing. You
Okay.
can always generate past pain as long as you put your focus on something else other than you.
Mm. So that's counterintuitive
Yeah,
in a bit,
something else.
in a little
It's
bit of
like
a
if the
way.
plane is going down, they tell you put your oxygen mask on so that you can help somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't help somebody until your mask is on. Take
Yes.
care of you
Yeah.
and then look to see who you can help.
Okay.
Because if it's happening, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. So if you're
Okay.
listening to this, pay
Yes.
attention. If it's happening, there's a reason it's happening. You need to know that there is a promise in place, a promise that you will never be served anything that you can't handle, no matter how bad it is. And if you're thinking you can't handle it, you're not inside the promise that was made. There's a reason this is happening. And a lot of times, the reason it's happening is so that you can get past it and teach others how to do it.
That's a
That
blessing.
your compassion for another human being in the same situation is the reason you're put here. It's beyond you and what you want for dinner. It's up to you to generate past your needs and your desires and see what mission you were put here for. And I've
That's a
talked
beautiful
to
thing.
many, many people over the years, and it
Yeah.
seems very clear to them, my pastor was not only into drugs, she was a drug dealer,
Mm-hmm.
dealing drugs to children. meeting them on the playground, people dying left and right on the drugs she was dealing. And she came to understand one day there was a reason that she was put here. There was a reason why she was in the life she was in. So many times drug deals had gone wrong that she almost lost her life and survived. Why? Because you were put here for a reason. And that's how she got her ministry going. She realized, I'm here for the drug dealers. She calls herself Thug Nation. That's
Thug Nation?
Thug Nation. I was put here for the drug dealer. You can't say nothing to me.
That's right.
I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt.
But look what, I mean, you know, look at most, I mean, I'm just going to go, look at Jesus. I mean, he picked the worst of the worst and turned them around, you know?
And he was real upfront about that. I'm not here for the rich people.
I'm here for the brokenhearted
who were struggling. That's why the mission was to come here for the ordinary man.
That's right.
You have a mission. You have a mission.
Yeah.
We all have a mission. Sooner or later, you're going to figure that out. And if you don't, you're going to be, you know, what she say, that's a wrap. Because if you're not here doing what you're supposed to be doing, then why are you here?
And that's the thing. And that's the discord. That's the discord. That is what is, you know, even like with enrolling in Ken's program and everything, like when he first made the offer, and that because most of the people in here are going to be business owners, they're going to be, you know, most of them are leaders, business owners that want to inspire change and want to learn how to enroll people into their vision. First, you got to be clear on your vision. Then you got to speak life into your vision. You can't speak of how it's not going to work. That's why we go back to the power of words. You got to speak life into your vision. If you don't believe in your vision, how on earth do you think anybody else is going to understand and believe in it? You know, and so when you know, like when Ken was enrolling us in his vision, I started to feel some type of way because I was like, oh man, I feel bad because I didn't plan on joining no, you know, program like that. But then I had messaged someone else and I messaged the producer in the background and said, hey, because I wanted them to know, like, I'm really enjoying everything. I hadn't, you know, and I gave the story of why it wasn't possible, you know, why I hadn't planned on joining that. But I felt called to tell them that because I'm like, I love what you're doing. It's not because I don't respect it or whatever. And then they had a conversation with me. They said, well, just come have a conversation with us and we'll see what we can work out. And so I felt some type of way that whole night. And the next day when we worked it out, I felt a million times better. So I didn't feel uncomfortable because I felt like, oh no, I'm getting, you know, I am committing to something, and because I'm clear on who I be and what steps there are. And that's what I think it is, Pam. I'm getting to a point here because what I realized was the discord was me have the possibility of me going the opposite direction and not participating in it. And my source energy, God, whatever you want to, you know, however you want to address the higher power, was saying, don't mess this up, girl. Like this is an opportunity.
Go this way.
But what I discovered today, Pam, is powerful. What I started to realize is that when you start living in your passion and you start deciding to participate 100%, and when you start feeling or recognizing the contrast from what you want, what you desire versus what's in front of your face, because that's where most people get hung up. Oh, I want a man, but he's not here yet. So what's wrong with it? No, but this is what happens. Because there's two reasons why I think that you start feeling anxious or whatever. It's either because you are getting out of alignment, or it's because source energy is trying to alert you that you're close. But we're so used to trauma. This is why clearing is so important. We're so used to that feeling coming in a dangerous or triggering moment. We haven't learned how to decipher between fight or flight or energy up, be aware energy. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. And it breaks down even simpler than that. You know, it's like you just have to listen for what source is telling you. And a lot of times source doesn't speak English.
Ain't that the
It
truth?
speaks, hummingbird, and it speaks, bubbling brook, and it speaks, the voice is there.
Woo! Oh my God, you're beautiful. I love that. That's so
The
true.
voice is there
It's
telling you what
interesting
to
you
do.
say
You have to
hummingbird
listen.
because they said that in my tarot today. See,
What did
this
they
is it
say?
in action, people.
Yeah, you got to listen for it. You got to look for it. It's not English. It's not a billboard with, vermicelli on it. It doesn't, it's not overt. It's very
Yeah, but
subtle,
it's right there.
but it's right there. If
Yeah,
you're listening for
but
it,
you're not looking.
I
Most
have
of
a
us are
very
going
strong
into our
faith.
stories.
I'm very spiritual. One of my
Me too.
clients, I had this client for 4 years. She's been with me. And one of the reasons she told me once that she is so connected to me is because of my spirituality.
Yeah,
And
I am
she
too.
envies
Very
it.
spiritual.
She envies it. And she asked me one day, how is it that your faith is so strong? You've had things happen to you that I can't imagine.
Yeah.
She knows my whole
Yeah.
story, right?
Yeah.
And I don't understand why your faith, of all the people, you should be, the one mad at God, all the things that have happened to you. And I'm like, no. She says, how is it that you're so connected? How do you even know there is a God? How, and I said, oh, I see his hand in my life every day.
Yeah.
And so she asked me, this is really, it's in my book. She asked me, when you're around me, can you tell me when you see God's hand so I can see it too?
Oh, don't you love to do that?
I want you to train me to look for God's hand. So,
yeah.
I thought I said, okay, that's great. That's useful because I do it internally. It'll be great to do it outwardly. And then I started to do it. Every time I was with her, I say, see, there goes God right there. And it was amazing how many
people get
times,
freaked out sometimes if they're not ready for it. Was she ready for it?
And it's like, no, she was not ready for it. So
okay.
She was not ready because I started pointing it out to her, and she suddenly realized she was missing all these little cues, and she got better at it. And after 4 years of being around me, she can see it quicker now.
Oh, but she was open to it though,
because she believed me. It's just like the woman who had faith. Good. Her faith gave her.
Yeah, but access. Have you ever experienced people believing you, but then they hate you because
but I promise I hate to say it's it like not that, you they hate. You're here for a reason. You have a mission. You have a message. Your message will rile up people emotionally, and they act out. It's just like, you have kids?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something about kids. Okay, people don't get this about kids. Kids want your attention, even if it's negative attention.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
So one of the things that you learn when you're raising a child,
so I know
you're raising a child, and you say, "Don't touch that," and what's the first thing they do? They reach out to touch it, right? They're like
curious
because they want to see what you're going to do.
They think, because they think you're doing it for you. They don't realize that you're trying to do it for them. In that
moment, they have your full undivided attention. Even if it's like you do the black woman thing and say, boy, I'll knock you halfway into the next county.
Yeah.
In that moment, they have your full undivided
and the passion behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody else is involved.
They know you're mad instinctively because you are scared to death. That it's because you love them that you're mad at.
So you come down on them like a ton of bricks, and in that moment they have your full undivided attention.
Yeah,
and kids will do that every day, all day, and twice on Sunday.
Yeah,
anything to get your attention. And it's the same thing when you have a message. People will act out just like children.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean you don't love them, and it doesn't mean don't punish them if they ain't right.
You can't enable. You still got to be real. You got to be real
because they're reacting to your message.
That's right.
Just how they react. It doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't give in. You don't give in to a kid's desire for attention.
That's right.
You don't. Right. I see. So now you go act out. Okay, call me when you're done, and I'll come back.
That's right. Yeah. You have to. And then sometimes you got to give them the crispy cutoff if they ain't your kids. I mean, I've had to give them the crispy cutoff.
The thing about it is that if a kid is not getting what they need from their parents, they will latch on to someone who'll give them that.
And that's where all the bad relationships come from. The codependency.
They're looking for attention. They're constantly
it all goes back to the parents, which it all goes back, Pam, to the original sin. I mean, I've thought this through very hard. And very long.
It's true. Your parents are the first example that you get of parenting and love and relationship and partnership, they're your teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So if their teaching was skewed, you're going to have a skewed view of relationship and partnership.
Well, then that's everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But I mean,
No,
not everyone, but a lot of people.
It is everybody.
A lot of people.
This
And that's
is
why I
another
say, that's what I'm
concept that I
saying.
teach my clients.
It
That's
goes
hard
back
for
to
them
the
to
original
grasp.
sin. It all really literally
this
goes
is the
back.
thing that you know, you're either your mother or you're not your mother.
Or you're what?
You're either your mother or you're not your mother.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow. That's powerful.
And not your mother is your mother.
It's still your mother?
It's still your mother.
Because it's still everything you do is to be not your mother.
Exactly, which is your mother.
Your mother. Hey,
it's your mother's running the show. Even when you're not her.
That's deep because we're still, that's what I'm saying. Like everything in that moment is like a trauma thing. And I thought about it and I thought, okay, basically at the end of the day, we're all going back to the tree of life versus the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It literally, everything goes back to the original sin of how we're going to show up in life. And that's why the words that we use and bring it all back, bring it all together, the words we use are powerful. Because are you going to choose today to eat from the fruit of the tree of life? Or are you going to eat from the tree of the fruit of are you going to eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? Are you going to talk about everything bad, everything that you believe is bad and they believe is good, or vice versa? Or are you just going to choose life? That's the power of our words. We have the power to decide.
Words have power, and whatever empowers you, that's what you want to cling to. The whole point is this: you have a mission. There's a reason you're here, and the game is, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What's my mission? What's my gift to the world? And give it to them.
Yes.
And when
whatever your gift to yourself is, right? Whatever you give, the gift to yourself is a gift to the world. Like the oxygen to yourself.
That's the gift to yourself, is to be what you were here for. Like I was saying about the pastor who realized that the reason why she went down the tunnel she went down, all the way down, the negative to, laying on the ground about to die, realizing I was put here for the drug dealers.
That's right.
That's what, and I haven't been doing my mission. And the way she puts it is that God gave me a choice. You can either live and die by this way, or you can live for my purpose in this way.
Thank you.
Either way,
I had that same choice. So I get
because I've been carrying you for a while now, and you've had some close calls, but I'm not going to carry you anymore if you don't start getting down to work.
I'm glad you said that, Pam, because I'm glad you said that, because that literally was one of the last conversations the last scares that I had in my mind was what I could just imagine. I was just thinking this. And as soon as that thought came in, I said, okay, we're nearing the end of this. Because I said, what would happen if I died? And I met God, however, God says, what did you do? What were you doing? I did everything for you. I gave you everything. And you still couldn't, I thought about how disappointed, that disappointed is not even the word of how that felt to hear that conversation being had. And I said, I cannot go out like that.
Well, and the reality is that a lot of what happened was happening for a reason, but there's only so much of that training you need to get busy with your mission. You're done with your training. You can come up out of that hole now. Everybody now is going to get your word, because it's just like me. When I coach people who are grieving or sad, you don't know how I feel. Yes, I do.
Yes, we do.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly the pain.
That's right.
So I'm sitting here saying, yes, you can too. That's my mission. I was put here for that reason. When you sit and you cry and you wonder why, so that you can help others. Because you will not
have to die
anything that you couldn't handle. It's promised to you. It's promised. So if you're getting it, you can handle it. you know, so that's the
Yes.
mission. That's the passion. That's why you're here. You have a mission to spread this message of yours. And if you don't do it, he'll be like, well, it's time to come home then. If you're not going to do what I sent you out there to do.
I mean,
Come on.
you're going to feel like you may as well go on home. I mean,
Well,
because you don't
well,
feel alive. You don't
it's
feel
up to
alive.
you. It's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you came here to do or go back home.
Or you done, or okay, nice try.
Yeah, exactly. That's a wrap. I love that. I'm gonna steal that from you like a bandit. That's a
Hey
wrap.
man, it's if this is an abundant universe, fam,
It's a wrap.
it's all of ours. It's a wrap.
You
It's a
know,
wrap. Yeah,
it's
no,
a
I love
wrap.
it.
I'm telling you, you're done. You know, we're gonna land this plane, as Ken says.
Yeah,
Like
we land this
I
plane
don't. I have other people who are willing to
to
do.
serve. We got to
You
serve.
know,
We got more people to serve than, and we're not going to serve. We can't. All of us, and I'm talking to all of y'all that are watching. You have got to decide to serve into life, serve into your own life, speak life into your life, speak life into others' lives. That's what we all need on this earth today. That's what you need. You get to go first. You get to speak life into your own life first. How about that?
yeah,
Make it
exactly.
real simple. You don't have to try on anyone else but yourself first. So
And it's
that
just
make me
like Michelle was saying earlier, the power of words. That's the access you have is your voice. You
yes.
saying that yes, this shall be. Has it become what you say it's going to be? So
Mm-hmm.
use these 5 days to create the context that you are open to receive. And it will
Yes.
happen. I give you my word. And don't
Yes.
think that it's not happening because you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right is not the context for manifestation. The universe doesn't hear the word no. You have to ask powerfully and have the actions that are correlate with you having it. Like she says, write a check, write that damn check.
Write the check and do it
Write the check.
joyfully. Don't make it a
Exactly.
chore. This is called
Exactly.
fun.
Don't
It's an
resist.
imagination, darn it. Let
So
me.
I'm going to give you a distinction that makes a huge difference for most of the
Okay.
people
Okay.
that I give it to, and this is for
Yes.
you and for your followers. The
Yes.
distinction is evaluation and judgment. There is a difference between evaluation and judgment.
Yeah,
So
like
most of
contemplation
us
and thinking.
suffer from harsh self-judgment. You spend a lot of time looking at your actions, looking at what you did, what you said, and criticizing yourself and feeling bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give you access to power. I want you to relate to yourselves as a reality TV star. And you are the star of your reality show. And you're also the producer of that show.
The greatest show on earth.
Yes. And every day you're evaluating your performance. You evaluate it with 3 questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. I wasn't
Oh,
ready.
you gonna write it down. Look at you. It's being recorded.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now I'm recording this and I'm still writing it down, folks. Get a clue. This is
So
called a
you are the
clue.
star of your own reality show. You're also the producer.
Okay.
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 And you evaluate your performance at the end of the day, every day. And the 3
Okay.
questions are this:
Okay.
what worked? What didn't work? What do I need to do differently tomorrow?
Woo!
And that, my dears, is the difference between evaluation and judgment. Don't
Thank
judge
you.
what you did like you did something wrong. Did it work? Did it not work? And when you look to see what didn't work, ask yourself, why didn't it work? Well, it didn't work that my hair wasn't done. How do you know? For all you know, people liked your hair looking like bedhead hair, you know? Why didn't it work?
Why?
It didn't work because I had all my attention on my hair and I wasn't paying attention to my speech, to my contribution. I was caught up because my hair didn't look the way I thought it should. That's why it didn't work. There's nothing wrong with your hair. But what's the matter is it didn't work because you were distracted and you allowed yourself to be distracted. And that doesn't work when you're a star of a show.
Yes.
Your focus needs to be on the show and what you're doing. And why I say reality TV shows, because you've got cameras on you. People are listening to everything you say. So
It
mindful of
is.
what walks out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they're writing it down, they're
Yes.
running around, they're publishing it in the, the newspapers. Everything you say is being managed and
Being
listened to.
downloaded and everything. Mm-hmm.
It's on the internet. The next day, it's in the National Enquirer. Everything you say and do, you're being watched. Now you may laugh at me like I'm a nobody. Nobody's watching me. You'd be surprised who's watching you.
That's true too. That's so
Be
true.
surprised who's emulating you, who
Mm.
thinks that you have the
Especially
life
if you
they
got
wish they
kids.
have. Exactly. People are looking at you going, I wish I was her.
Yeah.
I wish I was her. What's she doing
Yeah.
now? On social media, do you have, how many friends you have? 200, 400, 3,000?
Right.
A third of those people are watching you.
That's just a little scary, but you're not getting,
They're
I mean,
watching
honestly,
you. It is
but
scary. It's scary because you're worried and judging your performance. And I'm telling you, evaluate it. Don't judge it.
I
Evaluate
agree.
it.
I agree. I mean,
You
that's
know,
how I've been able to make these shifts. And all of a sudden, like I was in a business accelerator and I am still, I mean, actually it's about over and everyone's pitching this coming weekend. They're pitching. So we may have a couple people that are watching that are pitching. And that I thought this was a perfect time to do that because yeah, everyone's watching you all the time. And everyone's like, you're not pitching now. They weren't saying that 2 months ago. Trust me. They were like, you know, but I did exactly what you said. Feedback became my best friend. It's a gift. Most people have really big trouble with feedback and they're
yep.
afraid to fail. But that's not me
And they
because I
take
understand I'm gonna be
feedback
bad before I'm
like
good.
criticism. They're personally hurt. Then you got to validate them to puff them up
Yeah.
again. It's like they don't get, it's an evaluation of your performance. It's not criticism of who you are.
And even the people that did what I found was the people that were, harsh in their delivery. I did a clearing conversation and recognized that where they were coming from, what I could understand then why they were acting that way. And it still had less to do with me than it had to do with a bigger circumstance. So we get to figure that out. But I guess speaking of landing the plane, I do want to go ahead and wrap it up for everybody today and for you too, because I know that you just have so much to give. And I would like you to let people know how to get in touch with you so that they can get more of your amazing energy and your wisdom and your just beautiful light and guidance, because the world needs more of that. And I know that after watching this, people want to figure out more about Pam Heath and how they can learn how to say yes.
Well, I am Pam Heath and I am the Yes Coach. And there may be other people out there that call themselves Yes Coaches, but I am the Yes Coach and I did trademark it. So look for me on
Okay.
social media. Pam Heath, the Yes Coach on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. That is who I am. I am Yes Coach for you. Yes Coach, the number 4, the letter U. Look in all social media. You can find me. I don't have to rattle off websites and rattle off email addresses because I am the Yes Coach, and you can Google me and find me because that's, I've been building this brand for quite some time.
That's awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
also you can, we can put that and I really would love for you to join the group and then you could put that
Yeah,
in there in the
I'll
group.
join the group. And
Okay.
then
And
as far as Michelle, I just want to take a minute to thank you for having me. I'm blown away. I'm just so impressed with your show and your following and what you're up to. And I'm going to play the 5-day challenge with you. And I plan to generate, the most money I've ever made in any month this February inside of this
yes,
challenge because we have 5 days left.
absolutely. And you know what I found, Pam, is that the first couple of days I'm like, okay, because I was just going to spend $1,000. I was going to spend $1,000 a day, get that from the universe until the challenge. And then I was going to start the compounding interest thing. Well, the third day in, I'm like, why am I only doing $1,000? There's no rules. The universe is abundant.
Yeah.
Let me just write whatever it is that the universe, I feel like the universe, let me ask the universe. So just by expanding my mindset, just in those couple days, it changed the way I'm like, wait, I don't have to work within these rules. What am I? But it helps to start in a believable place for people. So that's why it's good to start with 1,000. I get why Abraham Hicks said that. But before we go, I just want to tell you real quick, a quick story. So I'm doing this challenge. This was about 4 days into it when I was just doing my part of the challenge. I went to help my sister to move. Didn't really feel like doing that, but I did anyway. But anyway, so I did that. I went to the mountain because I live in El Paso. There's mountains. I went to the mountain. I did some grounding, I did some grounding and meditation. I meditated for like literally 5 or 10 minutes. And there are too many people there, and I just get all weirded out when people are around at this point. Just I'm still kind of, I'm trying to protect my mom and stuff. So, anyways, but I did 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. I just sat there, breathed, did breath work, meditated. I drove my car, went to Burlington Coat Factory to get a yoga mat for my Hot Body Love Challenge I'm doing that's over this week. And that's in the morning. That was just me deciding to work out and, get myself into health. Hot stands for healthy on time, by the way. So it's like everything in its due time, but let's, and let me set the day off right. Anyway, so, and get in a better routine of going to sleep early. But anyway, so I go to Burlington Coat Factory. I'm driving, and this car, there's like a car truck hybrid, and it was a Mercedes, a black, and the car that I put in the box, like the day or two before, was a all black everything Range Rover, brand new, because that's what I've always wanted that. But the car that drove past me was a brand new black Mercedes. And he was playing drum and bass jungle music, which is my favorite music. Most people have no idea what it is. And if they do, it's just not something people play. And in that, like the people that I've met are normally not like looking like that. You know what I mean? Like they're not rolling like that. And I was like, what? So and I had just been thinking, I'm not lying. I had just been thinking, like, man, I really, I don't have any friends here. I was thinking about my old friends that did the old stuff that I used to do. And I was like, and I wasn't like considering hanging out with them, but I just was feeling like, God, I really could use some friends, locally, I promise you, I was just thinking, and I was feeling kind of down. But what I've learned to do is when I'm feeling kind of down, to open my heart. And that's a whole nother conversation. But I've been saying, open your heart. Don't go there. Open your heart, because feel the emotion, but allow yourself to keep opening up in those moments, right? So anyways, so the light's red. I'm a car behind, and I'm like honking, like, because I'm like, oh, like that's my favorite. And usually, I mean, people don't really like know that music like that. So if you see someone playing it, like you have that instant connection bond kind of thing. It's like that kind of music. Anyways, so it took me forever, but I finally got next to him, passed him, kind of like went ahead of him, honked really a couple times, and was like, hey, basically hanging out of my window. And I was like, yeah, like trying to get him to understand the music. And he like smiled at me, pulled up behind, or he then got in the lane behind me and while I was driving, pulled into a parking lot. And but I kept driving. And then I'm like, wait a minute, like drum and bass, somebody in like that fresh of a ride, you know what I mean? Like and he pulled off, and he did not look like he was about to turn before that. I don't know if maybe he was, you know what I mean? But anyways, I said, you know what? I'm the law of attraction coach. If you don't go back there and at least, you know what I mean, try to talk to him, then you fake. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying to myself. You fake, because it's the right thing to do. So I turn around, I run back. He was still in the parking lot, and I'm like, hey, I get out of my truck or my van, and I'm like, I know that you probably think this is weird, but I was like, are you a producer? Because that was the only thing that I could think of. Maybe he was a producer of music, like, because it's such a niche, And he said, no, I just, I'm a lover of music. And he said, I'm a psychotherapist. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm a psychotherapist. So anyways, I got his card, but we're meeting for lunch on Friday. But he has a practice, and it says striving in the active pursuit of choices of lifestyles in mental, emotional, and physical health. His advanced case management services. He is a He practices Buddhism, and I had just been meditating. Like, that's the law of attraction type. That is the law of attraction in full effect. Like,
and
you
it's
go with
inside
those
of
nudges.
what I distinguish as taking the actions correlate to what you say you want.
Exactly. I mean, you don't hear my style. I call that my style of music. That's my music. Like, that's how much dedicated I am to it. That's the universe being like, hey.
And if that's how the universe talks, the universe doesn't speak English.
Exactly. That's
so
what you said.
they're not going to walk up to you and say, here, over here, it's going to do that. You
and
hear
you got to
your
be
favorite
open.
music coming out of his car. He pulls off, and then you have a choice.
I had a choice in that moment.
I
asked
do
myself
I need
a question.
to go pull off as well? And should I connect? And what do I do? You do the actions correlate with what you say you want.
You say yes, don't we, Pam?
You say yes.
I said yes.
It's important that you complete our time together with that story, because that is the culmination of the process of yes.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to share that with you, because I thought you would appreciate
that's exactly. And when you hear stories like that, you
he's in the group now too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, how are you going to know? You'll know because it's common sense. Your music's playing, he's bebopping along, he's in this great, and you're like, I say I want this, and yeah, here I go driving off. I better turn around and go get some.
Right.
It's like that.
I said no.
It's just like that. So well done. I acknowledge you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I love you so much. I can't wait to get back together again. Let's schedule a coffee or something where we just chat and hang out over Zoom.
Absolutely. I can't help but notice that you said you're in El Paso. Are you good? I heard that Texas is in trouble right now.
By the grace of God, we're all the way on the western tip of Texas, so we're on a completely different grid, and we're closer to desert weather. So
okay,
we're good.
So you're not in, because my granddaughter's in Amarillo and they're experiencing the cold.
Are they? Yeah. No, yeah. Thank the Lord. No, we had a few days. We had a couple days of snow, but nothing to cry about at all. So a lot to be grateful for.
God bless you.
Thank you. Well, I love you so much. Thank you so much, and everybody. This type of conversation, these are the types of relationships. Pam and I have known each other for maybe 3-4 weeks, and this is actually the first time that we've actually sat and talked together. Look at how much we were able to connect. Look at how beautiful that listening to someone else's story and being inspired by somebody else, it's so important for us right now, especially learning how to say yes to the life you want. And that's as simple as it has to be. It's just the saying yes, and so I'm so grateful for Pam to come and talk to us. And again, she let you know how to get in touch with her. We're going to have her information in the comments. She's going to put it in there because she's going to join the group, because she's going to roll with us. And look, we all get to elevate together. That's the beauty of this. As we share each other's information, as we look and cheer each other on, because we understand abundance mindset knows no boundaries. It knows no competition. You know what I mean? We get to enjoy each other's journey. And if they always used to say, if God's blessing your neighbor, he's in the neighborhood. And that's how we like to look at it around here. So anyways, my name is Michelle Emtre Hollis with Vision Board Music and Vision for the Soul, where we all be in harmony. Have an incredible evening and write your checks tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.